do think the bill that we have on the board today is an important one that all members should be listening to, because it's a bill that is going to impact every employer and every employee in the state of Connecticut. And I've had opportunities to discuss the bill with the Comptroller's office, and I think that there are some improvements that are being tried to be made to a piece of legislation that was significantly passed in 2016, was supposed to be implemented in 2018, and it's now 2023, and it's barely getting off the ground. And as the program was beginning to be implemented, we've now seen that the delay has to be kicked out to August because of low participation with employers. And this is part of the conversation today with this bill that we should be having. If we're going to improve this legislation, we shouldn't be improving it just for the state of Connecticut, but we should be improving it for the employers and the employees that are subjected to this legislation. You know, I think we all like to talk about trying to create retirement funds for people and savings accounts. But this bill is wrought with problems from an employer perspective. I went to a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and that was all the businesses wanted to talk about. There is confusion on how this is implemented. There is confusion of how employees opt in or opt out of this program. So for those of you that might have participated because you may be an employer, you'll understand the problems. The problem being that when an employer registers, the employees are sent emails of whether or not to opt in or out. These emails don't come from the state of Connecticut, they come from a third-party provider, and you'll probably hear more about this from other members on our side of the aisle who have experienced this program. If they go into spam or the employee neglects to see it because it doesn't come from the state of Connecticut, they are now opted into a program that they didn't do knowingly. This amendment would change that and say the employees need to be properly contacted to know what they're opting into. The other piece of this amendment that we're trying to address is the data privacy. I mean, right now, employers are required to upload all of their employee information to the state of Connecticut. And as we've seen previously, the state of Connecticut is not subject to data privacy laws that we have imposed on all of the private businesses throughout the state of Connecticut. This is something that we need to look at, because if I'm going to be handing my employees' information over to the Comptroller's office, I am not doing it until I know that my employees are protected with their data. That's all this amendment does. The amendment returns the window of qualified employees back to the 120 days, because we haven't even seen this program implemented yet, and we are going to only give an employer a 60-day window to supply the information of covered employees. So I think overall it's a reasonable amendment. I do certainly support it. I understand the program is here to stay. I didn't vote for it when it was passed in 2016. But I think we need to do a better job of looking at this legislation through the eyes of the employer and the employee, and not the state of Connecticut. Thank you.